Hull's explosive interview unveils the unfiltered truth. Relentless schedules, crushing pressure, and midnight practices fueled a transformation no one saw coming. Get ready to dive into the story behind the Fever's unlikely rise to prominence and the arrival of a game-changing star who redefined the team. But before we dive in, we'd really appreciate a small favor. If you enjoy and value our content, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel. It costs you nothing, but it means a lot to us.
I think, kind of how you mentioned earlier, just finding the rhythm, finding the confidence in game. Shooting 25 shots in a row in practice is different than getting your 4 looks in a game and not being able to knock them down and having the confidence to continue shooting them. So I think just getting the opportunity in that second half of the season and seeing them go in and then continuing to get those open looks really just fed that confidence, and I think that hot streak towards the end.
I couldn't even face my teammates anymore, we just wanted the nightmare to end. With these chilling words, Lexie Hull shook the WNBA to its core in her latest Bombshell interview. Breaking her silence, Hull unveils the untold story of the Indiana Fever's tumultuous 2024 season with Caitlin Clark. What ignited their transformation from underdogs to championship contenders? Why did Hull's dynamic relationship with Clark take everyone by surprise? Dive into the revelations of team secrets, locker room tensions, and the shocking truth behind their legendary comeback. You won't believe what unfolded behind the scenes.
I mean, the numbers support it. We obviously know it is a truism, but even last year, where the numbers were not where you wanted them to be, when you played 10 to 19 minutes, you shot 11% from three. When you played 20 to 29, it was 22%. You played north of 30 minutes, you were 33%. You were finding it as you went, and then obviously you've elevated all of those levels in the process. Was there a moment that, when you're talking to Christy Sides early on, where you're being told, I am going to get more of this playing time, more of this opportunity, and does that help feed your confidence as well?
The 2021 season kicked off as a waking nightmare for the Indiana Fever. Lexie Hull leans back in her chair, takes a deep breath, and paints a vivid picture of those grueling opening weeks. 11 games in just 20 days. It still feels unreal to say it out loud, she admits, shaking her head in disbelief. This wasn't just a tough schedule, it was the most punishing stretch the WNBA had endured since 2003.
I mean, honestly, I can't really pinpoint a moment. It was, I think, just I was given a chance in a game and I hit a couple early ones, and then you get a couple more minutes, and you hit another one and you get a couple more minutes. So it wasn't ever like I was told you're going to be playing today, make sure you take advantage of it. It was just, when you're sitting on that bench and you don't know when your number is going to be called, and when it finally is called, just trying to take advantage of it. And I was just happy that the ball went in.
Imagine rolling into the hotel at a.m. after an intense game, only to gear up for another just hours later. That was our reality. Lexie Hull shares, her exhaustion still evident. The team was drained, no time for reviewing game footage, let alone proper practice. The toll was painfully obvious. Ice packs, endless training room visits, and faces etched with fatigue became routine in the Fever locker room. But the mental strain? That was the real killer. Hull's voice softens, recalling those harrowing days. You start doubting everything. Your shots don't land, your legs feel like lead, and the losses keep stacking up. The Fever's record spiraled to a disheartening 2-11, leaving fans and media questioning, could they turn this disaster around?
Do you know what you shot from three? You shot 66.7% from three. When you went out there's no such thing as tired legs in that scenario. You are sinking 2 and 3. No one does that. No one. I mean, it's just incredible.
The pressure was suffocating. Every missed shot felt like a failure. Every loss, another heavy brick of doubt. Lexie Hull recalls one of her lowest moments, sitting alone in the gym late one night after a brutal defeat, trying desperately to rediscover her rhythm. My three-point percentage had plunged to 11%. I was known as a shooter at Stanford, and now, I couldn't even buy a basket. Coach Christy Sides saw her team crumbling under the weight of these struggles, and did something unexpected. Hull leans in, her eyes lighting up as she recounts the pivotal moment. Coach didn't yell, and she didn't give a dramatic, movie-style speech. Instead, she listened. For 3 hours, players poured their hearts out during that meeting. Veterans shared stories of past struggles, while rookies confessed fears of not measuring up. Hull describes the shift. It was like this massive weight was lifted off our shoulders. We realized we weren't alone in this. The next day, the Fever started practicing with a fresh perspective. Small victories like a clean defensive stop, a perfect pass, or a teammate's support after a mistake became moments to celebrate.
When did you know that it was finally going to click for you? I mean, yeah, you hit 4 threes early on in the year, on May 25th against Las Vegas. You know, there were signs early on that you were finding it. Because before you even were starting, you know, was there a moment where it felt like this was finally happening? And again, was there any sort of off-season change? Was there anything that you were doing differently that helped this happen? Or does the ball just start going through the hoop?
May 25. 2024, a date that changed everything. The Indiana Fever faced Las Vegas, the league's powerhouse. With little hope of victory, Lexie Hull wasn't slated for major minutes. But when opportunity knocked, magic happened. The first 3 went in, and something felt different. Hull recalls, mimicking her shot. The second, swish. The third, nothing but net. By the fourth, the crowd erupted. Hull had found her rhythm, and more importantly, her confidence. Her shooting stats tell the story, a leap from 11% to a stunning 47.1% from deep. In games with over 30 minutes on the court, she was nearly unstoppable, hitting 66.7% from beyond the arc. Hull's breakout wasn't just a performance, it was the spark of one of the most remarkable comebacks in WNBA.
I think for me, we have some incredible playmakers on our team and incredible people that can get you the ball when you're open and create advantages. And so me being one of those people that I'm spacing the floor and I need to knock down those shots. So not only, you know, holding myself accountable to do that as my role and hit those open looks, but also being able to stand up for my teammates and say, thank you. Like you're doing the work, you're doing the hard work, and I'll be here.
The transformation of the Indiana Fever wasn't just about numbers, it was built in the quiet intensity of late-night gym sessions. While other teams were sleeping, the Fever were grinding. Show me you want it, Coach Christy Sides would say, rolling out the basketballs after midnight games. Veterans mentored rookies, bench players pushed starters, and the team grew a chemistry that extended far beyond the court. We became more than teammates, Hull recalls. We became family. Even when the schedule remained punishing, something shifted in how they tackled challenges. Hull shares a pivotal moment. Down by 15 in the fourth quarter against Chicago, the bench erupted with energy. Despite losing, their fight to the final buzzer marked a new mindset. Sides introduced a post-game tradition that reshaped their focus. After every match, each player shared one proud moment and one lesson learned. This simple act transformed their outlook, replacing frustration with growth. Hull noticed the difference everywhere. Passes sharpened, defense tightened, and team spirit soared. Their practices reflected this new intensity. Drills mimicked the toughest game situations, with distractions and fatigue woven in to simulate real pressure. Headlines shifted from questioning their abilities to celebrating their resilience. And as Hull refined her craft with 5-0 shot routines and film studies, the team's energy extended beyond the court, bonding over dinners and community events. Then Caitlin Clark arrived, and everything escalated. The gym buzzed with fans and media like never before. Her presence not only electrified the Fever, but redefined how they played. With Caitlin, you always have to stay ready, Hull explains, marveling at her precision passing. The court opened up for everyone, with defenders fixated on Clark. Hull's shooting opportunities exploded as her confidence and the team's chemistry soared. As Hull reflects, those brutal early days now feel like a blessing. They didn't break us, they made us. From grinding late nights to playing alongside a star, the Fever's rise was unstoppable. What came next? A season of magic and transformation. From exhaustion to exhilaration, from doubts to determination, the Fever's 2024 season was nothing short of a roller coaster. Lexie Hull's rise as a sharpshooter mirrored the team's revival, showing the power of resilience, chemistry, and unrelenting hard work. And with Caitlin Clark's electrifying presence now part of the mix, one thing's clear: the Fever aren't just rebuilding, they're redefining what it means to compete. Stay tuned as this team continues to inspire and rewrite the WNBA narrative, one game at a time.